Right, hi. Okay, I posted last week these 3 projects and asked you which ones you wanted to see. And they said the one that had got the most votes over the next few days is the project that I'd make live in the next live stream. So these were the 3 projects. And on the last look, the Easter card was the one that was the winner. So that's the one I'm going to do today. But I will, over the next couple of weeks, show you how I made both of the other 2 projects as well. Another one that I've done is this one. Now, these came about because somebody asked me to do a very simple project for a card. So I started playing around doing these, and then I just thought I'd give you the opportunity to choose which one you wanted me to do. This one's so simple I didn't even bother to show you this one. Basically, this is just 3 sizes of circle cut in about 6 or 7 different coloured pieces of card. And then I just wrote the greeting with the pen tool. And then another project that I've done recently is an exploding box. Now, I've done one of these before in canvas, but this one was all done directly on the machine. So again, if you wanted to see how to do this, I'd make this another live stream. And obviously you can make these any size you want, but this, this was just the size I did. I added all the dash lines by hand on this one, but you could do it in canvas. But as I said, because this project was made just on the machine, I added those by hand, and then obviously you can decorate this up how you want, and there's a lid and everything with it. So today I'm hopefully going to show you how I made the little Easter card. Now, to save a bit of time, I'll just put that there for a minute. I've already made the base of the card. So this was a piece of A4 card that I cut directly down the middle on the long side, scored and folded, and I've just rounded the corners with a punch. I've made a matting layer in white card, 1/4 of an inch smaller on the width and the height, and again rounded the corners just so it matches the base of the card. And then this time I'm going to use blue paper and a blue bow. So I've cut a piece of, this is actually Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper in blue. And again, this is about 2 inches high by the width of this layer, and I've rounded the corners. So this is all going to layer up like so. Okay, so for the bunny, I've got all my bits of scribbled note on a piece of paper here. So you need to come, I'll try and zoom in. Okay, so you need to come into the basic shapes and you need to find the heart. And it's the first heart. Now, the height, you could make this any size, but if you want to kind of follow along to make, something like this size card, which I think you call A2 in the US. We call this an A6, but basically it's a half a piece of A4 cut through the long side, like I said, and folded in half. So the basic heart comes in at 3.94 inches. Now I made mine 2.95 inches high. So on the height, I'm going to take the height down to 2.95. And on the width on this one, I made it just about 2.8, but I'm going to leave it, I think, as the default for this one and just see. And you need one of those. So I'm going to click select set, and I'm just going to bring it over here out of the way. Then I'm going to go back to add, and I'm going to go back to the basic shapes, and this time you want to choose a circle. So the first circle we need is a 1-inch circle, and you need 2 of them. So I'm going to change the size to 1 inch, and obviously being a circle it doesn't matter whether you use the height or the width, and I'm going to say 2 and set, and then just drag them down out of the way. Then I'm going to go back to add, and I'm going to choose a circle again, and this time we want a 0.70 and we need 1. So again, I'm going to change the size to 0.70 and we want 1. So I'm going to say set. And then we want 2 more. So I'm just going to come back to the circle. I know I could put a few on and alter them in individually, but I'm just doing it this way to show you. So this time we need 2 circles at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to say 2 and set. Then we want the ears, which is the oval. So I'm going to say add, come back to the basic shapes, and I'm going to find the oval. And I can't remember which one I used. I think I used this very thin one. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and say OK, so that I can size it height-wise. So the first one needs to be about 1.25 inches high. And I want 2 of those, so I'm going to select 2 and say set. And then I'm going to go back to add, and I'm going to choose the same oval. I'm going to use the rotate and rotate it 90 degrees because I want to set the height, so I'm making it vertical. And this time, this one is 1.15, I think I did. As I say, I've got my scribbled notes, and I wrote my notes after I'd made the actual project, so I'm hoping that I've got the right size. But you'll get the idea. Even if it's not right, you'll be able to play around with it. And again, I want 2, so I'm going to say set. And I'm just going to look at them and drag them to see how they look. So I think they actually need to be smaller. So I'm going to send one of them to the bin, and I'm going to come back to the other one and go into the editing icon, and I'm going to make it smaller in height. I'm going to make it 0.75, so 0.75 and say 2. And then again, I'm just going to drag one over the bigger one and just zoom in and have a look at it and see how it looks. I think that'll probably be okay. So now I've just got what looks like a mess of all little shapes on the screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load up this mat, hopefully, that you can see, with all my bits of card, and then I'm going to scan it through the machine and position all those shapes. I'll just move this out of the way and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I've just got pieces of white, 2 pieces of white, a piece of black and a piece of pink. I'm going to load the mat, and I'm going to say OK and do a background scan. So which is the icon on the left that looks like a blue square with a line going through it. So I'm going to hit that and press start. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom you back in a little bit, but I want to try and so you can still see the map, but I want you to be able to see the screen. So basically what I'm going to do now, all the bits that I want to cut in white, I'm going to drag onto these two pieces of card, and all the bits that I want to cut in the pink and the black, I'm going to drag onto there. So the first thing we need is the heart. So that needs to go on a piece of white card. The two bigger ovals, they need to go on white, and the two smaller ovals need to go onto the pink. So I actually might not need that second white piece of card. I can probably get them all on here. The two 1-inch circles, they need to go on the white. The two 1/2-inch circles need to go on to the black, and the circle that was 0.70 needs to go on the pink. And then there's one other thing I've forgotten, so I need to go back to add, back to the basic shapes and go back to the heart, and I want to make a heart that's about 1/2 inch high, and that's for his little tongue bit. And I just obviously need one of those. So I'm going to say set, and I'm going to drag that onto the pink. Okay, so just to recap, I've got the heart on the white, I've got the two bigger ovals on the white, the two 1-inch circles on the white, I've got the two smaller ovals, that's our cuckoo clock again, it always seems to go off when I'm doing a live stream. I've got the two smaller ovals, the 1/2-inch circle and the 1/2-inch heart all on the pink, and the two smaller black circles on, sorry, the two smallest circles on the black. This piece of white card I obviously don't need, I've managed to get them all on one, but I didn't know I was going to be able to, so I'll leave it there for now. So all I'm going to do now is send that to cut, and then while it's cutting, if anybody's got any questions, I'll see if I can see the screen and answer them. Good morning. Someone's just said good morning to me. Good morning to you. Okay, so that all appears to have cut, so I'm going to unload the mat, push the machine out of the way for a minute, And then basically what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stick this onto here, and then I'm going to assemble all the parts. I'll try and do this so that you can see me doing it. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Now, the greeting on here, I wrote with the pen tool. So, I think what I'll do, I'll assemble all the Easter Bunny, but before I stick it onto here, I'll send this back through the machine and write the greeting on. So we can take that off because that wasn't needed. So I'm just going to zoom you back out. So that you can hopefully see what I'm doing. So the heart becomes his face, like that. So the first thing you need to do is put his little tongue on here, which is this tiny little pink heart. So I'm going to use a glue dot. And I'm going to stick that just there. Now, obviously, if you want to ink these edges, you can do. I don't know if you can see this one. I ever so slightly inked around all the edges, but you don't need to. Put that there. So that's his little tongue piece on. Now, you need the two 1-inch circles. And they're going to become his little cheeks, like so. And they kind of tuck behind this. So again, I'm just going to use glue dots for speed. Trying to do this up in the air so you can see it all. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Oh! So he looks like that so far. Then you need his nose. Now his nose I put on a piece of 3D foam. But before I put his nose on and his eyes, I'm just going to draw in his little whiskers. So for that, I just used a plain black pen, which is the one I wrote the greeting with. And I just literally drew 3 lines. And I forgot to get my 3D foam out, so just bear with me a minute. So I'm going to put a piece of 3D foam on the back of the pink circle. And I'm going to position that just on there. So that's his little nose. So he's coming together. Right, his eyes. Little black eyes. So for the eyes, I just literally took a white gel pen and I just put 2 like little half crescent moons. And again, I'm going to use glue dots, just because they're easy. So for his eyes, you need to tuck those just behind his nose, like so. And just do the other one. There you go, can you see? And then again, with the black pen, just draw some little eyelashes. 3 little eyelashes. Okay, now his ears. So I'll just put that there. Again, I'm just going to use glue dots. I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back and position it at the bottom of the oval, just like so. And do the same with the other one. Okay, and then they are going to stick onto the back, and you can put them however you want, it's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to put a little glue dot here. Like that. Same with this one. So it's really quite easy, isn't it? It's only shapes, basic shapes. And there he is. Now he needs the bow for his hair. So, I'm going to come back to the machine. Say OK to finish cutting, which I am. I'm going to go back to the home button. OK to delete all the patterns. I'm going to come into pattern. Just try and zoom you in again. Hopefully not make you sick, keep bringing you in and out. Now, I think it was in here, so in the second pattern section along, and I think I was in this holiday section in the bottom left. Yeah, I was, and it's the Christmas bauble, which is on the second row, third in from the left. I said OK, and I just chose the bow and said OK, and I think I made it about 1 inch wide. So I'm going to take, say set, and then come into the editing icons and take it down to 1 inch wide. As I say, I actually made this project and then wrote all my scribbled notes afterwards, so the sizes may not be exact, but we'll soon see. Said OK, and then I'm just going to put a little piece of scrap on the mat. Now I could have put this on when I put all the other shapes on, but this is Designer Series paper by Stampin' Up, and it's slightly thinner than the card I used, so I need a slightly different blade setting. So that's why I've not cut it all at the same time. So I'm not going to scan this one because hopefully I can roughly see where I've got my paper. I'm just going to say OK and cut, and hopefully I've got the paper lined up in the right place and it will cut. Just going to check it's cut before I unload the mat, and it has. So there's the little bow. Again, I'm just going to put a little glue dot on the back. And that can go on there, like so. So it's quite cute, isn't he? Now, I'm going to put this, I'm going to zoom you back out again. I'm going to put this on the mat and write the greeting on it. And hopefully I've got that on relatively straight because I don't want to stick my head in the camera. So I'm going to load that up. I'm going to go back to the home button. And this time I'm going to go and find the greeting, which I made in ScanNCut Canvas and I've sent over to the machine. So I want pattern, save data, and it's in the machine. It should be the last one I saved, and it is. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to scan this through. Okay, now, I honestly can't remember what size I made this greeting, but basically what I'm going to do, I'll try and zoom you in again. I'm going to come to the editing icons. I'm going to select everything that's on the map, which is basically the happy and the Easter, the two separate words. And I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to group them. No, I'm not. I'm going to come to the directional arrows, come into the alignment icon, and I'm going to center them. So that they're centered together, and say OK. Then I'm going to come back. In fact, I might have to zoom in because I think I need to bring this up a little bit. So I'll go back, select them both, OK, go into the directional arrows, into the alignment icons and center them. Now they're centered to each other. I'm going to say OK, I'm going to group them and then I'm going to make them smaller so they fit on here. So I'm going to take the width down just by eye. Probably to about 1.5 inches. And say OK. Now I'm going to zoom in. And because I've scanned this piece of card in that's on the mat, I can position this where I want it to be. Now I'm just going to get my pen tool, which I forgot to get out. And I'm going to write the greeting. Hopefully. Say OK, 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 draw and go. Okay, that's done. Going to unload the mat. And that's written the greeting. Now this font is called, from memory, Europe Underground, and I got it from DeFont. So I'll leave the name and the website name in the comments box below this video. And I don't know if you can see how well it writes, but it writes beautifully and it's like a single stroke font. So it's really lovely. So all I'm going to do now is stick this on the front of this card. And zoom you back out. Sorry if I'm making you all sick. So if you can see that now. And then I'm just going to put some foam on the back of the bunny and put him on there, and then I'll show you how he looks. Now, I can't see any questions or anything, so I don't know if the chat's working or not, or if I'm just missing them all. But if you have got any questions, if you leave them in the description box below the video, because this, although this is live, it will be on my channel. So you can come back and refer to it for sizes and that kind of thing. So if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments box below and I will answer them, because I'm just not seeing them pop up on the screen at the moment. So let's bring him back into view. So all I've done, I've put some foam on the back, 3D foam, and I'm going to put him there. And then he just needs a little gem in the middle of the bow, like I did on this one. So let's move this mat out of the way. And that's the two cards. Hopefully you can see them both. So what do you think? I think he looks cute, don't you? So little boy bunny, little girl bunny. Simple, happy Easter card, just made from basic shapes, all done on the ScanNCut machine. Yeah, somebody's just said they think they'll be able to make it. You sure will. It's so simple, honestly. You will be able to make it. Anybody else got any questions? Someone's just asking me, did the 900 come with a pattern list? I don't think mine did. I just had to look through the machine and have a look what was on it. Yeah, it is very doable, honestly. Somebody asking about the foam. I just use any old foam. This is Stampin' Up 3D foam. It comes on sheets like this and it's just little... how many sided? 6-sided, is that hexagon foam? Or in the UK you can buy this 3D foam in the pound shop. This is just like bigger sections of foam and it's just double-sided. That's what I use. Any 3D foam will do. You can buy it on a roll and cut it off. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. As I say, the next project is going to be probably the flower card, because I think that was the next popular after the Easter card. I just wish YouTube would give me the option of seeing your comments bigger. They flash up so quick and they're so small, I don't get to see them all. I'm really sorry, I'm not ignoring you. Yeah, you should get your foam at Joann's. It's just a standard 3D foam, craft foam, double-sided sticky foam. Places like, if you're in the States, Joann's, Michael's, that kind of thing. In the UK, or you can buy it on eBay, off the internet. Amazon will probably have it. So has anybody got any other questions? What do you think? With this one, all as I've done, I've put a piece of white paper inside so that you can write with a normal pen. Or if you've got, say, a gold or a silver pen, you could just write on the inside. But I like to put like an insert in mine, so that's probably what I'll do. I think somebody's just said, how do you incorporate more than one colour when writing? Well, that would be quite difficult actually. The easiest way to do it would be to, say, write the happy in one colour, then delete it and bring the Easter on and change your pen colour and write that in a different colour. Otherwise you'd have to bring each individual letter on and position it and write it in a colour, which would just be it'd be a mess. But to do happy in one colour and Easter in another, just bring your word on, write it with the pen, delete it off your screen, bring your word back on for your second half of your word and write that in a different colour. Does that help? Any more questions? Okay, well, I don't think there appears to be any more questions, so hopefully that was helpful anyway. As I say, the Easter card was the one that seemed to get the most requests, so that's why I've done that today. And I'll probably show you how to do the flower one next. And this was just coloured in with, I don't know what you call it, they're called Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. But then this is a shape within the machine and this is really simple to do. So I'll probably show you this one in the next live stream. So if there's no more questions, please give the video a thumbs up for me if you did like it. Yeah, Spectrum Noir, that's it, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so. Leave me comments, as I say, underneath the video and I will answer them if I've not been able to see them on the screen. The next live stream, basically I don't have a set day for live streams. I just do them, to be honest, when I'm not working and when I'm in the house on my own. Usually a Tuesday or a Thursday are probably the best days for me. I just happened to be on my own in the house today and thought I'd show you this. So again, maybe next Tuesday, hopefully I will try and do the flower card. Yep, no problem. Thank you so much as well. I think that's Valerie. Excuse me. So if there are no more questions, guys, I'm going to end the live stream here. As I say, it will go up on my channel. Leave me comments under there. You want to see the flower card? Yeah, fine, no problem. I'll definitely do that. And I'll try and answer as many questions as I can for you. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm going to go now. Bye.